There once was a boy named Aarav who lived in a small village. His family was poor, barely able to afford a single meal each day. His father was a construction worker who worked from sunrise to sunset, carrying heavy bricks for meager wages. His mother would walk miles just to fetch water. Aarav, the eldest of 3 siblings, had a dream. But it wasn't a small dream. He wanted to become an engineer. Not just any engineer. He wanted to build bridges, roads, and skyscrapers that would change the world. But dreams like his weren't welcomed in the village. People mocked him. "A brick carrier's son will always carry bricks," they said. "You were born to lift loads, not ideas." But Aarav didn't listen. At the age of 12, after school, he began working at the same construction site as his father, carrying bricks to help feed the family. His hands bled, his back hurt, but he never complained. While others went home to rest, Aarav sat under a streetlight with torn books borrowed from a local teacher. He studied by moonlight, his eyes burning with determination. One day, something happened that would change his life forever. His father collapsed at work, too weak, too exhausted. There was no money for treatment. Aarav was shattered. That night, as he watched his father sleep on a hospital bed, he made a vow. "I will not carry bricks for the rest of my life. I will build dreams. I will build a future for my family." From then on, he worked twice as hard, working in the day, studying at night, sleeping only a few hours. People called him crazy, but the fire in his heart was stronger than their voices. At 17, he took the entrance exam for the best engineering college in the country. When the results came, he didn't just pass, he ranked in the top 100. The village that once mocked him, they now celebrated him. Years later, Aarav returned, not as a laborer, but as the chief engineer of a project that would bring electricity, water, and schools to that very village. He didn't forget the pain. He used it. He didn't forget the bricks. He built with them. Years had passed since Aarav stood under a streetlight with torn books and tired eyes. Now he stood in front of a towering construction site, not as a laborer, but as the chief engineer. But success had not changed him. He still woke up early. He still ate simply. And he still visited the old streetlight where it all began, just to remind himself of who he was. His first major project was personal. He built a school in the very village where his dreams were once mocked. Not a simple building, but a state-of-the-art learning center with computers, labs, and a library. And at its entrance, a plaque that read, "Dreams don't need permission, they need courage." One day, while inspecting the school's foundation, a boy walked up to Aarav. Dust-covered clothes, no shoes, wide eyes full of hunger, not for food, but for hope. "Sir, is it true you were once like me?" Aarav smiled. "No," he said gently. "I was exactly like you." That boy, named Raju, became his shadow. Aarav began mentoring him, giving him books, helping him with homework, even teaching him how to draw buildings and bridges. Raju soaked it all in, like a sponge, craving knowledge. The village watched. They started to believe, maybe for the first time, that dreams could come from their soil. But then, just as things were getting better, tragedy struck again. A flood devastated the nearby villages. Homes were destroyed, families displaced, bridges washed away. The government was slow to act. The people were losing hope. Aarav didn't wait. He gathered his team, raised funds, and started building emergency shelters, rebuilding roads, and designing flood-resistant homes, all while continuing his mentorship of village children. The news spread. Media arrived. They called him the engineer with a heart. But Aarav didn't do it for fame. He did it because he knew what it felt like to sleep hungry, to feel helpless, to want a way out. Years later, Aarav stood at a graduation ceremony at his village school. Among the students was Raju, now with top marks and an acceptance letter to the same engineering college Aarav had once dreamed of. As the crowd cheered, Aarav quietly wiped a tear, not of sadness, but of a seed, finally becoming a tree. Aarav didn't just build buildings, he built futures. He turned bricks of struggle into pillars of strength, and now, his story isn't just his own. It's being written by every child who dares to dream.